What is up? What is up, everybody? We are at episode number 10 of Ray Sports and Slams. I am your host, Ray All Day. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. Please like, share, subscribe, boinkstudios.com. Boink Studios on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, etc. A lot of great shows on there. You have Tom Clark 6M podcast, Bear Mode, a Bear Mode podcast. You have Chris Patton's Patton Report. You have the Bachman Report and Tom Clark's Main Event. So please, guys, like, share, subscribe to the show. And before I go and get my guest, I want to say thank you to everybody who, again, for watching the show. Shout out to Timmy Gonzalez for watching the show. Shout out to Fernando for watching the show. I appreciate the love. And before I get into the topics, let me bring in my special guest, because my colleague, Matt Garvin, cannot be here tonight, but he will be here next week. But I got a friend of the friend. I'm losing my words. Friend of the show, and he was on the show prior, so I'm so thrilled to have him back from his own podcast, all about payroll. Welcome, Walter Duncan. What is up, my friend?
I'm on mute. Forgive me for that. Hey, Ray, I'm all good.
Good. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. Glad to be back. I had a great time, so I'm ready to go for today's show, man.
You're ready to bring it.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for coming. I'm excited. We have a lot to talk about today.
Likewise.
So you know what? Let's bring the noise. All right. The first topic of today's show is Chris Paul. As you know, Chris Paul, NBA legend, guard extraordinaire, multi all-star appearances, potentially Hall of Famer, has been released by the Los Angeles Clippers. Very shocking news. I'm kind of surprised. I don't know what happened. I'm going to give you my take and my opinion on this, and then obviously, Walter, I want to defer to you and get to your take.
Okay.
I think Chris Paul had a phenomenal career. I think he announced that this was his last year, so it wasn't anything surprising. I think at one point he addressed the low management problems with the Clippers and some other issues. I think Tyronn Lue, from my personal opinion, got in his feelings and abruptly released him. I think this is kind of a shame, because you don't expect Chris Paul to drop, a 20-piece every night, because, the guy's 40 years old. He wanted to come in and just kind of leave on his own shield, play a couple of minutes here and there, contribute to what he could, add some guidance to the younger guys, and, just like I said, just kind of just go out. But to see this, it hurts. I feel bad for Chris Paul. I feel, again, it was just personal to me, and I don't know why. Tyronn Lue always comes across like a good dude. So I don't know, dude. I'm kind of lost for words about it, because it just came so abruptly. But give me your take. Well, what do you think happened, and why do you think it happened?
So I think it's one of those things where somebody's feelings got hurt, like you said, Ray. Mm-hmm. Someone got their feelings hurt. I think it's the NBA is very political at times, and if you do something against a coach or organization, no matter who you are, 9 times out of 10 you'll be out of there. You see what's going on with Ja Morant in Memphis, right? He's kind of like, is he hurt? Is he disgruntled? What's going on there, right? So from the research I gathered on this situation, I listened to a podcast with Kendrick Perkins, and he was talking about this, right? And he said that basically Chris Paul was causing havoc in the locker room. He was going in, whispering in behind Ty Lue's back, going to players, causing dissension and stuff like that with the players and stuff. And word got back to Ty Lue, who obviously was upset about it, right? So again, there's 2 sides to every story. So we won't really know, because we weren't there. Only the players know, and that locker room truly knows what was going on. I'm sure there may be some further discussion about it. Mm-hmm. But look, like you said, Chris Paul, he's 40. This was supposed to be his retirement tour season,
and he announced it, so it wasn't like
yeah. And so I think no matter what, they should have hashed those things out, talked it out, and just bury the hatchet and say, look, I'm not going to do my guy like this. Yeah, it sucked, that you treated me this way. But look, because that's the team that was that the team that originally drafted Chris Paul?
Yeah, it was.
So like, come on. Like, I understand you got your feelings hurt, Ty Lue. Suck it up. Let this guy have his retirement tour. He's done after this season. You don't have to, be cordial just because there's other players who didn't get along with their coaches in NBA history, right?
Preach.
They learned how to manage through those things, right?
Mm-hmm. But let me ask you this. Do you think that he had, I think it was a reporter maybe, I want to say a week and a half ago, commented on one of their losses, and he said, this may have a lot to do with, a lot of the players with this load management. And he's like, it's a coach's decision, but, I think it could hurt us. Do you think that was a contribute to it, or?
Look, I think Chris Paul definitely wanted to play. No, look, me, myself, I love basketball. Basketball is my first love, right? Mm-hmm. I still think I can get out there and, run with the youngins. But, mentally, sure, but physically, maybe not. Like Chris Paul, he was averaging, I think, a little under 3 points, 2.9 points a game, 3 assists a game, and he played about 10 to 12 minutes. For an average NBA player, every 30 minutes they average 10 to 12 points, right? Yep. So he's below average, right? Mm-hmm. So he's not going to give you much. So I understand him wanting his desire to play more, but they have Bradley Beal on the team, or he might be injured now, but he was on the team. They have some young guns on the team. So they're trying to get those guys run to try to compete.
I got you. But at the end of the day, it's like I don't think he was looking for minutes. I think he was just frustrated why the team was losing so badly. And a lot of these guys, like I said, were looking for this load management thing. I think the Clippers invented load management, and it's turned into a thing.
For Kawhi,
I'm like, oh my God, dude. Yeah. So I don't know, dude. It's very weird. Do you think anybody will pick Chris Paul up?
Yeah, I believe that there's a team out there that could use his veteran savvy, his knowledge of the game. He could impart some of his wisdom into some younger players. So yes, I believe there might be a team out there that would be willing to pick him up for the rest of the season, even if it's just to sit on the bench and kind of coach people through a player coach role.
Yeah, player coach. Even gets 10 minutes here and there. Just some guidance. Exactly. He brings a good presence. I never heard anything to the contrary about him being a team locker room cancer or him causing problems. So I would definitely give him a shot.
Look, I think there was some stuff in the past that I've seen, like Chris Paul being a little abrasive because he'll tell you like it is. He doesn't sugarcoat. So maybe some players getting their feelings hurt like that. And again, maybe that's why, you can't speak to Ty Lue like that. He's like, I'm the man, So
preach. All right. Yeah. We're switching gears. We're going to go to the other big topic of the week. Devin Williams has been picked up by the Mets, 3 years, $51 million. For those who are not baseball fans, Devin Williams was a relief pitcher on the Milwaukee Brewers. At one point was lights out. Played the Mets in a game 5, up 3-1. Gave up a 3-run homer to Pete Alonso. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, he has just completely been shell-shocked. Last year, he played with the Yankees. I didn't think he had anything remarkable to talk about. I think he had a very mediocre season. Some reason, somehow, the Mets signed him to a 3-year, $51 million deal. I don't know what this means. They still have, from my perspective, the best closer in baseball, Edwin Diaz, or at least top 3. Mm-hmm. What does this say? Are they going to let Edwin Diaz just walk? Are they really thinking Devin Williams is that dude? I'm going to let you start this off. What are your thoughts on this and what's going on?
Look, I think sometimes players could stink it up and, like you said, he might have been shell-shocked after that situation happened, and he's kind of never been able to recover. Maybe going to the Mets, maybe that's that spark that he needs to kind of like rebound. I've seen him. He does have great stuff. I think he's averaged more Ks than walks. Last year, his ERA wasn't good. I think it was below league average. I think league average was a little over 4. Yeah, this was 4.79.
It was up there, dude. I'm still like, what am I seeing that I don't see?
Look, I think we're as a society, we're in love with potential, right? Yeah. When you date off of potential. When you hire off of potential a lot of times, right? And so I think maybe the Mets fell in love with some of his old tape, and and maybe one of the coaches saw him and like, hey, I can coach him up and get him back to that somewhat dominant person that he was. So look, maybe that does impact Diaz, or maybe they want a double threat with Diaz and Devin. You know what I'm saying? D&D, Dad.
I'm okay.
D-A-D. Yeah,
I gotcha.
D&D. Yeah. So what do you think?
I mean, I think honestly, he was, before this whole happened, he was a premier closer. There's no doubt about it. His numbers his ERA was under 2. His walk to strikeout ratio was insane. So he was that dude. I think that home run just completely just shell shocked him, because it wasn't like a home run that tied the game or lost the game. It was the ending series home run, a 3-run bomb, and dude just took the air out of the team and everything. And then ever since then, like I said, he played for the Yankees last year and he was very mediocre. So do the Mets think they could get this old guy back? I don't know.
Maybe he's still in 2025. I think his WHIP was that walks and hits per inning pitched. Like it was like 113, 112, something like that. And
it's good.
That was below average.
Yeah.
Right. But so I mean that was below the average of the baseball. So look, somebody may think they can bring him back.
You may see something. I see here.
So we'll
see.
He
was good. And we're not talking 8 years ago. We're talking 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So maybe he could bring it back. Brian Esquire says Mets suck. You know what I say to you, dude? You know what I say to you? You know what I say to you? I have to do what I need to do right now. Exactly. You get the big boo. We got some other comments. Eric Cologne says Devin Williams was not able to perform in pressure situations with the Yankees. The Yankees were very selective in trying not to get him back productively in the bullpen. He's not an elite closer. He cannot. I agree. Right. I mean, he was. I don't know if he's going to come back. So we shall see.
How old is he? He's in his 30s, right? He's older.
He's got to be in his late 20s, early 30s. Do you want to look that up? I don't know.
Yeah, let me see. Devin Williams. He is 31 years old.
31. He signed him at 3 year 51. Wow. I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know. That's weird, dude. And my boy Maurice Jackson, Memphis or Orlando could be a good landing spot for CP3. I agree.
Okay. Either one. Yeah, I like Memphis.
Orlando, I like Memphis a lot.
Too. Yeah.
He could do the damage on Memphis. They need another veteran guard. So all right, okay. All right, we're switching to the pigskin now. And the Kansas City Chiefs lost a really tough game, 20-10. Their percentage of making it to the playoffs has dropped now to less than 18 or 19%. I will start this off. I think this dynasty is pretty much over.
Really?
I think it's looking very slim. I'm not saying it's 100% done, but it's not looking good. There's a very, very large person on the cliff, and the cliff is very thin. It would take a lot for them to get in now. I think they would have to win out, and a lot of teams would have to lose, which, in the NFL, anything can happen. I think this loss was a Reed fumble. I think, on 4th and 1, you're not throwing. You're handing it to Kareem Hunt. I don't know why you didn't. That's the game right there, and it's an ugly season. I hate to see Travis Kelce go out like this, but it may look like that. What do you think of Kansas City? Do you think this loss is the end? Do you think there's still some hope?
I'll never count out Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
Any team with Patrick Mahomes has a chance, right? So I will say that. But I think, Travis is old. He doesn't really have anybody behind him in the tight end position that can, do what he has done or replicate that. They have some, skill players at receiver, but I think Rice is the only, true number one worthy. He looks good, sometimes, but they have a lot of speed. But,
yeah, they do have speed.
But I think teams have figured Kansas City out. I think the teams have figured them out. They said, hey, we're going to shut, everyone else down. And, I think Kansas City had a good run. The last 4 or 5 years?
4 or 5 years. Weren't they always in the playoffs every year for the last 5 or 6 years?
Oh, I think they were always in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, it was a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, and so I think they had a good run, but now you're seeing some of these other younger quarterbacks in their teams start to push through and show themselves. You see the Texans who just beat the Kansas City Chiefs. They have a really good defense, a good young core, and these guys are playing well. So the Jacksonville Jaguars, they have a young quarterback and they're playing well. I think they're first in their division. So like Kansas City, they may be donezo.
Oh, so you're on my team. You think it's potentially is a wrap? Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it wasn't a good loss, dude. What are your thoughts on Andy Reid on that 4th down play? I don't know if you watched the game, but I watched the highlights. 4th and 1, you're throwing.
You put it in Pat. You put it. I think you do put it in Patrick's hands.
Okay, so you agree with the call?
Yeah, but look, maybe
even with Kareem Hunt as your running back.
Even with Kareem Hunt as my running back, look, like I understand, but the Texans have a really good defense, and they probably knew what the play was, and they stopped them.
I got
look,
you.
Because look, Patrick, he's good for a scramble. He's good for getting out of those situations. So, the Texans were just a little bit better.
Okay. All right. I respect it. We have some comments in the gang. Brian says he should have retired last year. You talking about CP3? I guess I don't know what he's talking about.
I'll be talking
Jeff
about
Peter, thank you for watching, my friend. 60% chance of Kansas making the playoffs. Oh, it's just lower than I thought.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh. Fernando says it is not over for Patrick. Even Tom Brady has gaps between Super Bowl wins in the middle of his career. I'm not saying it's over for him completely. I'm saying it's over for this dynasty team. He's going to have to rebuild. That's what I'm saying, Fernando. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with that. Look, Kelsey's going to be gone. They're going to have to get somebody at that position. They're going to have to get some other playmakers that are dynamic because Kelsey was dynamic, right? He was a superstar tight end for a long time, and he looks like a shell of himself. So I think you got to replace that.
Oh, he's talking about Travis. Okay. He could have retired last year, but his ego got in the way from my perspective, and he wanted to win one more ring and not looking good. Diener has a young quarterback and an awesome defense, but keep overlooking them. Denver? Bo Nix is we always go to the car reference. What do you give Bo Nix?
Bo Nix, I think he's like a Jeep Wrangler.
Oh, okay. A souped up one or like the basic one?
Just a basic one.
Okay.
Nice to look at. You know what?
Right. Does it have leather seats or is it cloth?
It's leather seats, so it's pretty nice. But
okay, so it's okay.
But I don't see Bo Nix as a elite QB. He's good. Okay. But I don't see him as one of the elites.
He's not a top fiver.
Not yet.
Okay. I got you. I respect. All right. We're moving on. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes turned into Daniel Brittle. He is out for the season. Torn Achilles. What does this mean for the Colts? I will give you my take first, and then I'm going to throw this to you. I think there's a large lady singing in the background because the party's over. I think the Colts are done. I don't even know who their backup quarterback is. I'm sorry. I'm sure you could look that up for me. And if he's anybody that is of noteworthy, I don't know who he is. I feel that now it's the Jonathan Taylor show, and I don't think a running back can win a Super Bowl by himself. I think he was playing hurt, and I've had this discussion with some friends of mine, before about this. I think he was playing hurt for a while, and I think it just got to him now. And dude, they had a great season, but I cannot foresee this team coming out of the AFC now with no quarterback. So let me hear what you got, bro.
No, look. So I agree. I absolutely agree with you, right? We're in sync here with this. I think last time I was here, I kind of called out Danny Dimes or Daniel Jones because of, him, doing good at the outset of the season. But as the season's gone on, we've seen him kind of regress back to that normal Daniel Jones because he did the same thing for the Giants. He came out and they were like, oh, my God, this guy is like, he's going to be great. And then it's like, oh, never mind. He's average. And so I think that the Colts are done. Like their backup QB, I think his last name is Leonard. He may be a rookie or a second-year guy. Never heard of him.
Never heard of him.
There's really no free agent QBs out there. I think the trading deadline is already passed, so they really can't trade for anybody. Look, I don't know who they're going to get, to try to, change it up. Look, maybe one team, maybe they can sign somebody off of somebody's practice squad that, looks a little nice or whatever. I don't know, but we're going to see. I think they might be done. You can't win it with just one phase of the game running. You need all phases of the game. So I think they might be done.
I mean, is there any backup quarterbacks out there that are sitting at home like you and I right now, ready to play? I don't know any. Tell me, dude. You're the football guru.
So I think only some of the only ones that I know of are Jeff Driscoll,
Okay.
CJ Beathard.
Oh goodness. Okay.
And I think there's one more. Yeah. So I think those are the kind of guys that you have sitting at home that you can say, let's go. Like, do you ask the Giants to cut Russell Wilson and have him come over there?
That would be huge.
Jameis Winston, do you have him come over there?
If I'm the Colts, if I have any shot of trying to compete, I'm begging you for Jameis Winston right now. I'm begging you. I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to help the Colts, but yeah. I mean, dude, that's the take of the night. That's a good idea. I think I would throw in a pick or two and say, let me get Russell Wilson, because Russell Wilson may be able to get you over the hump. I don't know if he's going to get you to a championship game, but he could maybe win you a couple of games.
I think, but it'd be nice. But I think they missed the trade deadline. I think.
Dude, I think I don't know, dude. It's not looking good. All right, moving gears. Mr. Aaron Rodgers got a big win over Baltimore. DJ Metcalf, beast, 7 catches, $145, win over Baltimore. I'm going to let you start this off. What does it say for Baltimore, and what does it say for Pittsburgh?
I think it says more about the state of the Ravens more than the Steelers. The Steelers have kind of been up and down, right? Like the Jets competed with them in a game that they had against the Jets, right? And so, look, like Baltimore hasn't looked right. For all their talent, for all the weapons that they have, they just haven't looked that good over the last couple of weeks, right? Lamar Jackson hasn't looked like Lamar Jackson of old, right? Like, no, I don't know if they're out of sync with each other. I don't know what's going on. Like, it just seems that the Ravens aren't that good this year for whatever reason. And I think, look, can the Ravens turn it on and before the playoffs and maybe win out? Yeah, anything's possible. But I think it's more on the Baltimore side, and Baltimore needing to fix something more so than the Pittsburgh Steelers being a good team.
So you don't contribute Aaron Rodgers doing anything extraordinary out of this?
No.
Okay. All right, let me give you my opinion on this. I mean, I think you and I could get a throw over to DK Metcalf. I think he's that good. I think DK Metcalf is a beast. I don't think he's top 5, but he's top 10. From my perspective, I think he's legit. I think Lamar's hurt. I don't know to what extent, because something like you said is off. He's a little off on his throws. He's a little off on his timing. Derrick Henry seems a little off. The defense is holding him to some extent, but yeah, I don't know. I'm going to flip it back to you again. If Baltimore some way somehow gets into the playoffs, are they like Kansas City? Is the party over for them?
I think that the party is over for them. I don't think their defense is good enough this year, because their defense has gotten better as the season has progressed. But if you think about it, teams were blowing out the Ravens. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were blowing them out. Derrick Henry is not Derrick Henry this year.
Yeah, he's not Henry.
He's not.
He's
so like
Henry.
yeah. Yes, he's like, like he. I think that, like you said, I think that Lamar's hurt. Their defense is suspect.
Okay, do you think Henry's hurt?
He might be.
Okay.
He might be. Like, I think they have to get through the injuries. I think that the Ravens are done, man. I think they're absolutely done.
So we're taking 2 dynasty teams that were always in the playoffs, and you hear it here first. Walter and I are both saying the party is over.
Look, I think it's time. We're going to start seeing some younger teams start to transcend, and really start to take some of these spots up here lately. I think some QBs are going to step up. I think we may have a team that hasn't won a Super Bowl in a long time win this year.
Wow. All right. That's a hot take of the night. Okay. Okay. But if Baltimore somehow gets in, you don't see them going far.
Not at all. Not at all. Okay. I don't. I think there's something wrong with Lamar, and their defense is not good enough.
Okay. Do you see anything Pittsburgh could do? Because Mr. Ayahuasca thinks, his team could probably win the Super Bowl. Do you see them doing anything?
No, I don't think so. I think that if they play like a team like the Houston Texans,
yeah, okay,
they're gonna get demolished because of that Texans defense. Yeah, but and look, Metcalf had a great game against a suspect Baltimore defense. But if you look over his last couple of games, he didn't have a line like that.
That's true. He didn't. All right, what kind of car right now is Lamar? we always got to do the every time Walter Duncan's on the show. We got to do car references. Let's go.
Lamar is nothing short of a Lamborghini, but he's in the shop.
Oh, okay. Something wrong with the engine or the tires or the brakes?
The tires.
The tires are bad. The tires are bad. Okay. Yep. And Aaron Rodgers is what? An old Buick?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is that old, reliable Buick. It still runs, still get you from point A to point B.
Get you to the store.
But it's not running any races.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
Love it. Let's get to some comments. Yeah. Jeff Peter mentions Joe Flacco. Would you try to get Flacco to save the Colts season?
Yeah, I'd rather have Flacco. Flacco will be good. Yeah.
Okay. Is he available? Yes, he is available.
He's on the Bengals.
Get for him. Yeah, he's still on the Bengals. Okay. Eric says he is short, not as mobile, and would need a huge offensive line to give him a shot seeing on the field.
He might mean Russell, right?
Yeah, it means Russell. Okay. Yeah. And Jeff says Travis and Aaron Rodgers both need to retire. Wow. Somebody doesn't like either one of these guys. Okay. And Eric says Wilson is no longer the player anymore. People look up to him. It was 10 years ago. I agree. But that's why he would make an asset to the Colts right now. He may be able to muster up maybe 1 or 2 wins.
Yeah, but look, Richardson is still on. Look, we didn't mention Richardson.
Yes,
because nobody thinks about him. Anthony Richardson was supposed to be all world athlete, but he's not a really good quarterback.
He's not. All right, moving on. We had another great game, Green Bay and Chicago. To me, this was the game of the week. Green Bay won 28-21 over the Bears. I thought it was an excellent game. 2 quarterbacks lighting it up, doing what they both do. Mm-hmm. I have a lot of mixed feelings about both of these teams. I want to get your take first because I went first last, so I'm going to let you start first. Do you see the Bears as an NFC threat? Do you think this win made a statement? And what about Green Bay? Do you think they could do something here? And what does this game say about them?
Look, I think Green Bay is a very good team, right? A lot of them, I think a lot of pundits and, sportscasters picked them to get to the NFC Championship, let alone our Super Bowl this year, right? So I think they're that good. They have a great defense. I think they have enough weapons. Jordan Love is a good enough quarterback to get you there. I think Green Bay is a very, very good team that's going to compete in the playoffs, right?
Okay.
Will they beat the Rams? I don't know. The Rams are looking, a little scary right now, but I think the Bears, I think they're just having a pretty good year. I still look, these things kind of happen, where other teams have down years and teams that you didn't expect to have an up year have an up year. Caleb Williams is a pretty good quarterback. I think he's still learning and growing into that role.
I definitely agree. Yeah.
But I don't know. I think the Packers are legit and real. They beat the Detroit Lions, right?
Yeah.
They've beaten some pretty good teams already.
Yeah.
So I think they're the real deal. The Bears, look, any given Sunday, I think they may have beaten, 1 or 2 good teams this year, but they've won against the teams that are kind of on their same level or below them, right?
Yeah.
So the Bears are
the teams they're supposed to beat.
Yeah. And so that's why they have a winning record. And, I think that both will get to the playoffs, but I wouldn't count on the Bears going very far, in my opinion.
Okay. I thought it was a very good game. I thought both quarterbacks made some bad throws at certain points that cost both teams. Mm-hmm. I think that Jordan Love is decent. I don't think Jordan Love is that dude. I think he's solid. Mm-hmm. I think he could get you some wins. I think he could get you into the playoffs. Do I think he's that upper echelon type of quarterback? From my perspective, he's not. I just think that he's got great receivers behind him. Watson and these other guys, etc. Yeah. what's his Bond? He's got the receivers, he's got the core, he's got Micah Parsons, so he has the people. But I don't know. Bears. I'm gonna say Williams is a really nice Toyota Camry, make a 24 Camry. It's nice, fully loaded Camry. It's a nice one.
Yeah.
I think he's good under pressure to some extent. I think he made some really bad throws where he's like, it was a throw where he threw right in the middle of the field to nobody, and it was like the Green Bay was like, "Oh, thank you, this is for me." So I feel, I mean, that could be due to lack of experience. He's only been in the league a couple of years now. I think both teams will make it. I don't think either one of them, will go too far.
Really? Okay.
I think they'll do something, but I'm with you. I think the Rams are just too good and too deep that it would take somebody to get hurt, unfortunately, for them to knock either one of these teams out. From my perspective, it would take something drastic, which I would never wish on. So, I don't see it, dude. I don't see it.
Look, think about this, right? Jordan Love, in my opinion, is good enough. If it's by some chance they get to a Super Bowl, like who was that quarterback that won the Eagles the Super Bowl that year that their quarterback got hurt? Foles, right?
Yeah, Nick Foles.
He was a solid quarterback, but was he a Hall of Famer?
No. But that team was that good. Are you comparing? That team?
Okay. I'm not saying that Eagles team is, or that the Green Bay team is anything close to that team. Okay. But I'm saying that they may be good enough to compete with anyone in the NFC, especially in the playoffs. And depending on where they finish, if they have home field advantage and people have to come out play in the cold, they're on even footing in my opinion.
Yeah, because playing in Green Bay is that's like death plus 5.
Yes.
That's just horrible. You haven't seen cold, dude. That's cold. No. I've been to Chicago. I haven't been to Green Bay, but I have friends who've been there and like, dude, you haven't felt cold. I'm like, okay, I don't want to. I don't want it. You can have it. I don't want it. That's a hard pass. What did you learn from either one of these guys in terms of their schematics, how they played? Do you see who you feel could get over the hump quicker and why?
As a team, or you mean the QBs?
Both. Let's hear it both.
So Jordan Love and Green Bay, I think that they can get over the hump quicker because of Green Bay's defense. They can make up for his mistakes, which I think ultimately is what they did against the Bears and some other games, right? Jordan Love is decent. He's good, but he's not perfect, right?
What car is he?
Jordan Love, I think he's a what's that? The bug.
Volkswagen Bug?
Yeah, Volkswagen Bug. Yeah.
A new one or an older one? Oh, it's a new one. Okay, so you give him new status at least.
Yeah,
okay.
New status. And like Caleb Williams, I think Caleb Williams he's still learning. It's only his second year. He was drafted in 2024.
Okay.
He's still in that sophomore season. Like, I think he has some great qualities, but he reminds me a lot of remember how Dak was when he started his career? He flashed a lot. And I think Caleb does the same thing. He flashes a lot. And you see why the Bears drafted him so high. So that kind of reminds me, I'm not saying he's going to be Dak or have that same.
Okay, I was going to say, dude, I don't know, dude. I like him. He ain't no Dak now. Dak is like a top 5, top 6.
Dak for me, I definitely have him in my top 10.
Okay, I'll accept that. I'll accept that. Give him your top 10.
Yeah.
Hate him or love him, dude. He's got to be in your top 10. All right.
I think Caleb could get there, but he's going to have to cut out those mental mistakes. And I don't think the Bears defense is good enough. If he makes a mistake, the team that they're going against can score against the Bears defense. So
wow. I like that take. I like that take. I was okay. I agree with you. I think that Jordan Love will probably get over the hump quicker. He has more experience. Maybe a year or two more. I think he does have better defense. I agree with you. And I hate to piggyback off everything you said, but yeah, I feel like Green Bay, if you make a mistake, Green Bay could help you out on defense.
Yes.
They'll give you that pick. They'll make a couple sack. They'll do something to help you. It's like, oh, you threw a pick? No problem, Jordan. We got you. Yep. And Parsons will, get a fumble recovery or get a forced fumble. Corners will grab a pick and, like I said, negate anything that he could have done. I feel the Bears, for them, Caleb's got to play almost perfect.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of room for error on the defensive side.
Yep.
I agree with you 100%. So
nice, man. Locked in. We're locked in.
Yeah, we're locked in, dude. We both on the same thing. Fernando says the Eagles have had a drop off. I don't think they're going for it. You know what? I'm going to scare you right now. I think there's a small chance the Eagles may not even win that division.
Really? Okay.
I think.
You know what? I agree with you.
I think they could lose that division. I think the Cowboys have an easier schedule, and I think they're going to lose tonight, and they're going to lose against Buffalo. And Washington's a coin flip, dude. I think Philadelphia has got a tougher road. So I would not be shocked out of my boots if they didn't even make the playoffs.
Ooh, yeah, man.
Which would be rough, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, Eric said Herbie the Love Bug.
Yes. Remember those movies, man?
Yeah, I remember those. You remember those?
They were cute movies.
They were really cute. Eric, I applaud that. I like that. That was actually very funny. I applaud you, Eric. I got you. All right, the last big game of the night was Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals in the terrible, horrible S word. That's right, snow. For those who don't know Ray all day, Ray hates snow more than anything. And to see that game gave me hives. It almost made me vomit. But it was a great, great game. Buffalo won the game 39-34. Buffalo is now 9-4. They have a great road to the AFC Championship, I think. They could go far.
Really?
But I'm going to say this, and this is my take, and then I'm going to throw this to you.
Yeah.
I think Joe Burrow made two dumb, massive mistakes that cost him big time. I think Josh Allen is still a top 5 quarterback. However, I think if that was another quarterback playing that didn't make those errors, I think they could have easily lost that game. So as good as I think Buffalo is, Cincinnati is pretty bad. So I don't know what Buffalo's going to do. I don't have them winning the AFC now. Let's not get crazy. I just think that they could perhaps cause a little hiccup in the AFC. What do you think of the win? What do you think of Josh Allen? And do you see Buffalo doing anything? Because right now we're talking about Destiny's Child. Buffalo, Kansas City, and Baltimore. You've already killed off 2 members of Destiny's Child. Beyonce's left. What do we do with Beyonce?
Look, I think that Destiny's Child broke up for a reason, right? And I think that, because Beyonce was eventually going to get to that, that stardom level. Mm-hmm. Destiny's Child was great. They had a lot of hits and stuff like that. Again, I think this is just a down year. Those quarterbacks and those teams are great. They're probably in the top 5 of the quarterbacks that are playing in the league today, right? Mm-hmm. Lamar, Patrick, and Josh. In no particular order. They're definitely, if not, the top 3 quarterbacks.
I can't even argue with you.
Right. And so, for me, I think that the Buffalo's defense needs to get it together before the playoffs. This is a Cincinnati Bengals team that has had one of the worst defenses in this year's season, right?
Yes, in the AFC and football.
In the AFC, in football, right? And so I think that Buffalo winning the game is great, but you did that against a bad defense. The Dolphins beat the Buffalo Bills. Then I think the Buffalo Bills lost 2 in a row.
Yeah,
they won. They kind of alternated one loss.
Yep.
So I think that they're susceptible, right? If they go against, I look at that Houston Texans team and that defense, and they're scary, man. They're scary. So if they go against Buffalo, Josh Allen is he's gonna have to be like a deity. He's gonna have to be a god amongst men for Buffalo to be able to compete in that game. Not saying that he can't do it. He definitely is that good. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen is definitely that good, but they're gonna have to all the chips are gonna have to fall on the right way for them.
Mm-hmm. All the dominoes have to line up.
Yeah, everything's gonna have to be perfect for Buffalo to make it to the AFC Championship, let alone the Super Bowl, in my opinion. Okay. I think it's just too hard right now.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. I brought this up. The Joe Burrow 2 big picks. Mm-hmm. How big was that and contribute to their loss?
Oh, very big. Very big. I guess especially against a team with Josh Allen on the team, right?
Yes.
If you make a mistake against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, especially with their coaching staff, I think the Buffalo Bills are going to make you pay for it, and they did, right? He threw a pick six to Bedford,
yeah.
Yeah, Benford, like he threw a pick six to him, which kind of turned the game around. I think that gave him the lead, right? They gave the Bills
gave him the
lead.
lead. They were up the whole game. Cincinnati was just going up the field.
And Joe Burrow, he kind of does that though. Joe Burrow is great, but he kind of does that sometimes from time to time. He has bad games where he just not looking
Joe
good.
Burrow in the car world.
Joe Burrow, I'm not going to do him wrong. I think he has a lot of talent. If he could cut down on a lot of the mental mistakes and more so his health, because people like to knock Tua for his health, but Joe Burrow's been hurt a lot these last couple of years.
He has.
Right? And so I think that he's kind of like a dinged up Mercedes.
A Mercedes that's been in a little bit of an accident.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree. Yeah. I agree. I want to ask you this as well. I felt like, to your point, Cincinnati's defense is horrific.
Yep.
Buffalo should have scored 39 points because, it's Cincinnati. So I people get hyped about it, but I agree with you. Like, dude, you're supposed to drop 30-something points on this team. Defense is horrific.
Mm-hmm.
But, Buffalo took advantage of his mistakes and they got it done. I think Joe Burrow is still nasty. I think if he was on Buffalo, I don't know. But again, Buffalo's defense is not all that either. And I think the Texans will give them a very, very, very tough run. And I think the Texans defense is insane. But do you think CJ could get them over the hump?
CJ, I think all he has to do is just manage the game. Look, CJ he has the skills. He can make the throws. He's pretty accurate and stuff like that. So he just doesn't have to make the mistakes that we see a Caleb Williams make, a Joe Burrow make, right? He just has to refrain from doing those. Mm-hmm. And I think they have a shot. They have a shot to compete against anyone, in my opinion, right? And I think that CJ Stroud, look, you don't have to be a great QB. Like I mentioned, Nick Foles. Who was the quarterback that was it? Brad Johnson that won a Super Bowl with the Bucs?
Yes.
Who's Brad Johnson? He was.
That's true.
But he got it done when they needed it to get done.
But
right?
do you think Buffalo's dynasty era, if they don't win out this year and get to at least the AFC Championship, do you think the third member of Destiny's Child is on? Because we basically killed off two.
I think that we're going to see a lot of changes after this year if the Buffalo Bills don't make it at least to the AFC Championship. Okay. If they don't, we may see some trades. We may see some people leaving in free agency. We may see a lot of different changes. Defensive, offensive trades too. In my opinion, look, teams want to win, right? And look, I agree that the coach is pretty good. I like the coach. I like the head coach there. But they may fire the guy after this year if he doesn't get it done.
Okay.
Teams want to win.
Okay. Do you think if they get to the AFC Championship, it gets smoked out, do you still keep this team or do you add pieces or what do you do?
I think you keep as much as you can and then add to it to improve it upon it. Okay. Because you have a good core. Cook is a great running back to have. Josh is a great QB to have. Even like the backup running back, Davis and Johnson, they're good backups to have, right? You need some more receivers.
Yeah, you need another star receiver.
Kincaid, he's been hurt. He's a good tight end. Knox is a good backup tight end. But you need some more receivers for Josh so he can, and you need to shore up that defense. Because right now, teams are just kind of going up and down on the Buffalo Bills too. And look, again, going back to the Bengals, Ray. The Bengals on a lot of sites have the 32nd ranked team defense. They're last in yards allowed.
Teams are in the NFL.
Yeah, they're last in yards allowed. They're last in points allowed, on a lot of sites. So it's just like, wait.
All right. But you're capping it at AFC Championship. If they get to AFC Championship, you're keeping the core. Is that what you're saying? Anything below that, you're doing a firehouse.
Yeah. If they lose in the wild card round, if they lose in the divisional, matchups or anything like that. I think you have to really, really, take it to the table and reassess things.
Okay, so your sign is AFC Championship or bust.
For me, for the Bills, yes.
Okay, and they could lose the AFC Championship game, even get smoked. You're okay with that, but they got to at least get there. Okay,
they at least get there, in my opinion.
All right, I respect that. I have to agree. I think this is your one shot because you're not dealing with the kryptonite of Kansas City. That's Josh Allen's kryptonite. I don't care what anybody says. You don't have to deal with him. Like this is your chance, dude. If you're gonna do it, you have a decent enough record. Like, yeah, dude, try to get a bye and see what happens. But yeah, dude, I think this is his shot. All right, we're switching to the sport that me and you both love more than life, basketball. And OKC, I think, has lost one game all year. Dude, what's it going to take for somebody to beat OKC? I'll let you start this off first. I'm just speechless when it comes to this team.
If they keep this up, they may beat the Golden State team record. You know that year that Golden State had, I think
72
it was KD.
and 10, right? Yeah.
No, they went like 73 and like 9 or 8
or 9,
something like that. And, they were like considered one of the best teams. I think they lost in the finals that year too. But I think, they keep going down this road. OKC might challenge that record. This might be one of the best teams that we're seeing right now. They have a great young core. They have, great players, the great coaching, and these guys are hungry for it. So these guys are scary, man. Look, I don't want to put it out there, but barring some injury, I don't know who takes OKC down.
Bro, your back may be hurting because I'm piggybacking off you. I don't know how you're going to beat this team. I mean, Shea Gilly is just insane. Their defense is insane. Their coaching is insane. I see them beating that record, dude. I could see that team doing like a 77-win season, dude. Like, they're crazy.
Ooh, yes, they're crazy, man. Like, look, we're already a quarter of the way through the season already. Over a quarter through the way of the season.
And they lost one.
And they lost one. So if it goes like that, it's going to be exactly what you said. They're going to be that 77-4.
Yeah, that's insane. That's insane.
That's crazy. And I never thought we would see anything like that.
And who do you contribute it to?
I think they have a great core, man. Look at the players. Williams. They have, Holmgren. They have
Holmgren, yeah, Chet.
Horstein, Chet.
Harstein. Isn't Harstein out though?
He's out, but look,
it doesn't even matter.
Look, like SGA didn't even play the other night, and they blew out a team.
Yes, this is crazy, dude.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see anybody touching them now.
I don't know, dude. I'm scared of them. I am scared of them.
Yeah.
My man Maurice said no one but the Knicks can beat them. Maurice, I love you, but you got to stay off the drugs. And I can call your sponsor. But get off those drugs.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Do you think that SGA is the best player in the league right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
SGA is that dude. SGA is insane. He's insane. I can't even, on Race Sports and Slams, I always keep it a buck. SGA is the truth. He's I don't know what the Clippers were thinking of trading him for Paul.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. You talk about the Luka trade, dude. The SGA trade was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. My man Fernando says OKC's repeating. Dude, I wouldn't be shocked. Look, I would not be shocked.
So do you think that OKC is really good at what their front office is what they do? Because think about it. This is not the first good core that they put together. They had Harden, Westbrook, and Durant.
Westbrook.
And they made it to the finals against the Heat, right?
Yeah, they did.
Right? And so
they poo-pooed the bed.
Yeah. And so, look, these guys, OKC, for whatever they have in the recipe book, they're doing a great job of putting a great core together, and it just shows.
They play as a team, dude. They play gel well together. I will say this, and knock wood again, because, again, I don't wish any injuries on anybody.
Yeah.
If SGA was out for several weeks, he got legit hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I can see it. But that would be something like that. And again, if, knock wood, nothing happens, I don't know. Like, nothing crazy. There'd have to be some eternal arguing. There'd have to be some juju on this team. I don't know, dude.
Look, but they still would. I think they would still compete with Williams and Holmgren and the other members of the cast.
But let's say this: SJ, God forbid, again, knock wood.
Yeah.
He's out for 2 months.
Oh,
do you really see? Yeah, I don't, dude.
I get what you're saying.
I think they can survive him missing like 3 or 4 games.
Okay,
maybe even 7. But dude, no.
But because look, you're right. SGA was carrying the team, and when Williams was out for a while, right?
Well, yeah, and now Harnstein's out. So yeah, and they're still doing it, dude. So Fernando says whoever trades for the Greek feet might sneak away with the NBA championship. Depends who sneaks away with them. That depends.
Look, if the Lakers, I've seen reports that the Lakers are interested in getting him. Maybe they can compete with them, right? I think they will kind of bring him closer to equal footing.
At least for footing. And speaking of the Lakers, we're going to end it with them because got to end with them.
Yeah.
Lakers won 112-108. LeBron stepped away from being the third option, had decided to be LeBron of LeBrons. 29-7-6. I will start this off. I'm not surprised. I didn't think LeBron was going to let Austin Reeves be the second fiddle anymore. Eventually, he wants to be Robin again. I'm hoping he doesn't want to be Batman again. Kudos to him. 41, playing like he's 21. I give him all the credit in the world. His body is in incredible shape. He's cerebral as you know what. So all the respect. I'm hoping this was a one-off thing. I'm hoping he still, lets Austin and Luka do their thing. Great win. Kudos to him. Like I said, what do you think of this? And what does it say about LeBron? Do you see him continuing to be like this, or will he divert back to the old LeBron?
I think LeBron is still capable of doing this. He maintains his body. He is very, very strict about those things. He's really good about his fitness, his diet, all those things, right, that go into it, to him staying as young and vibrant as possible, right?
Yes.
I'm around LeBron's age, and I cannot play like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I wanted to, if I dreamed of it, right? LeBron is doing a lot of things that a lot of 40-plus-year-olds wish they could do, right?
Yes, we do.
Now, that said, I think LeBron is going to – I don't think he's going to be averaging, 25 a game. Could he? Yes, absolutely. But I think he's going to do like you said. He's going to lean on the young guns, for the regular season. Now, when the playoffs come around, I think that's when you're going to see LeBron step forward a little bit more.
All right, but let me ask you again, because the last couple of games, LeBron has diverted to Luka and Austin. And Austin Reeves, if he doesn't make the All-Star team, something's wrong. If he keeps playing like this, he's got to be an All-Star. But he was diverting. He even gave up his 10-point record for the benefit of the team. But I felt, from what my eyes were seeing, he was trying to go back to LeBron of last year, where he had to drop 25+. He didn't let Austin take a lot of shots. I'm scared that he may try to, like I said, deep further into this, because he was hot. He had, I think 4 threes in a row. Will he have the mindset to say, all right, this was a one-off game, I'm not going to do this again? Or will he try to get McGreedy and turn into
I don't think that's LeBron. I don't think Bron has that in him to be like that. I think Bron wants to share the ball, wants to pass it. I think he wants to see these younger guys step up. I think he's proud of watching Luka and Reeves do their thing. So I don't think LeBron's going to want to do that. I think he's going to do that when it's needed for him, right? If he sees the other team, the shots aren't falling, the rest of the team, the shots aren't falling or anything like that, or he needs to step up, then I think you may see LeBron go into that role. But I think he's going to let these young guys cook.
So you think he's not going to initially be like, ball, let me take this up the court? Okay.
No,
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
What do you think?
I think he's going to divert back to the way he was when he came back.
Okay.
But it was scary because I watched the game, because for those who don't know, I'm a diehard Laker fan. That's no secret. I saw Luka basically just take his shots, get fed, and then LeBron wanted to take over. And I'm like, wait a minute, what about AR? What about Austin? And dude, Austin was not getting love. So I don't know what happened. LeBron got hot, and he just said, I'm going to stay hot. So I'm hoping that when they play again, if he gets hot, he doesn't take the next chapter in the book and say, oh, I'm hot again. So Austin, sorry, have a seat. That's what I'm saying. Do you understand my point?
No, I absolutely get what you're saying. I totally understand. I think that's gonna be touch and go because LeBron is still LeBron. He he wants to what we say alpha. He wants to be
The
alpha sometimes, and so that may come up. You know what I'm saying? But
that's my biggest concern.
Yeah, look, but when he did it, they won, right?
They did. But then when he passed, they won too. So there's two sides to the coin, bro. I don't know. Like I said, I just don't want him to shoot a 4 for 20 and the Lakers lose by 10 because he's not letting Austin do his thing.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? If he hits 2 in a row and then he misses 5 or 6 in a row, he just says, "Oh, I'm going to get hot again." No, you need to just divert. Okay. We're on the same page.
Look,
we're on the same page.
Hopefully he has that wisdom. We're supposed to get wiser as we get older. We're supposed to,
right? I don't know. All right, we're at the final buzzer. This is where you could ask me or my buddy Walter anything about anything. You have 5 minutes to get this in there. So let's go to the comments and see what anybody says. Maurice says, OKC, their organization is solid and they mesh. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jeff says, the only problem OKC has problems with his last season with the Nuggets that took him to a 7-game series. Valid argument. What do you say to that? I completely poo-pooed on the Nuggets. So what do you say about that argument?
I mean, look, the Nuggets are a solid team. They have one of the greatest basketball players that we may ever see in Jokic, right? Yeah. He's great. He might be one of the greatest. He might be the greatest big man we've ever seen play the game, right? And so, yeah, you can't count Denver out, but I think OKC is just too good.
You think they're just too good?
Yeah,
I agree. I think Denver's fantastic, but I think OKC is just too deep.
Mm-hmm.
Too deep. Eric says, a word on college football, which I watch a lot. Notre Dame belongs in their playoffs. Ridiculous. They were not. SEC championship game between Indiana and Ohio State was awesome. Indiana might be a team of destiny, but I believe at the end of the day, the Georgia Bulldogs defense hits everyone and everything on the field. They hit so hard. I was giving. What do you guys think? Who do you like for a championship? Ooh, that was a lot, bro.
It is. Go ahead. Go with this one.
Ohio State, dude, they're in a different class.
Really?
I think Ohio State.
Indiana just beat Ohio State.
I think Ohio State is in a different class. But I'm not a huge college guy. I just think that Cinderella thing with Indiana is not going to last. Georgia's really good too.
Yeah. They spanked the Tide.
They did. You know what? I'm going Georgia. I'm going to go on a limb.
Georgia, okay. I think it's going to be between Georgia and Indiana. I don't think there's going to be any dark horse teams that are out there. I think Indiana, they're talking about the quarterback Mendoza being the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah,
that's how good these people think he may be, right? And Indiana has one of the top ranked defenses, I think, behind Ohio State, right? Like I think they're the number 2 defense in the country, right? So
really,
even ranked higher than Georgia. Georgia has a really good defense too, and they can score.
Every time I watch Georgia, they're just doing their thing, dude.
Yeah, but earlier in the year, I think Georgia lost to Alabama. I think
they did. They lost to Alabama,
right? And so, look, this time around, Georgia's gotten better. They've gotten healthier on defense and stuff. But I think that it's a toss-up, man. You never know how it's gonna go. I think it may be Indiana and Georgia for the chip, man.
Okay. Fernando asks, if Bo Jackson had never gotten injured, how different would sports history be? I'll let you start that one.
I think Bo Jackson would have probably been one of near the top of the list for running backs, right? I think he was also good at baseball too. Mm-hmm. So he was like wasn't he like one of the first like 2-way athletes? Was it him or Deion first?
No, he was first. He came before Deion. Yeah.
Yeah. And so like I think he would have been great. We would have talked about him maybe in the history books.
Yeah. I think if he would have played more football, I think he would have created more damage in football. Mm-hmm. From my perspective, but he was phenomenal, dude. Bo was awesome. I have a lot of respect for Bo.
Yeah.
Maria Iglesias says, worst third movie to a franchise, Spider-Man 3 or The Godfather 3?
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3. That's not even a question.
Godfather, man. Come on.
Yeah, come on, dude. Come on. Eric says, Bo was awesome. He was, dude.
Yeah.
I agree, especially. All right, dude. Well, listen, I want to thank you so much for coming in again. You're definitely gonna have to come in on my college football episode when I do that. When the college bowl start, dude, I need your guidance, dude, because I'm not a college football guy. I'm definitely gonna bring you back, dude. It's been a pleasure again. You were awesome. Before I let you go, please plug your podcast and let everybody where they can find you on all the socials.
Yeah, check us out. We're all over social media on LinkedIn. Search for It's About Payroll. We have a great podcast. We're the top payroll podcast out there. We're all over the globe. Search us out. Go to it'saboutpayroll.io. You'll find us. Listen, like, subscribe. Search me on LinkedIn, Walter William Duncan III. Search out my boy Brian Escobar on LinkedIn as well, or Facebook. And we hope that everybody does well. And Ray, thank you for having us back, man. Dude, I love being on here with you, man.
I love you coming on, dude. It was fantastic. I'm definitely going to bring you back again because you just bring the heat, and we get to talk about cars again.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Let's do it. All right, I'm going to get you up. Please stay in the studio before I can say goodbye to you, and I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. All right. Round of applause for my man, Walter Duncan. Thanks again for coming on. I appreciate you. Let me give him a round of applause. Stay in the studio. Let me say goodbye to you. All right, gang. Well, thank you so much for joining us again for another episode of Ray Sports and Slams. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the support. And again, follow us on all the social outlets, Instagram, Facebook, boinkstudios.com, Ray Sports and Slams. I will see you next week. My partner, Matt Garvin, will be back, and we have a lot to talk about. See you next week.